It was a big year for rookies in the NHL, and the Calder nominations have just been announced as Chicago Blackhawks forward Artemi Panarin, Edmonton Oilers center Connor McDavid, and Philadelphia Flyers defenseman Shayne Gostisbehere. As I did say, it has been a fantastic year for rookie development, and we had a lot of guys who could have gone up for this trophy in guys like, let's say, Domi and Duclair, who started out fantastically for Arizona. Dylan Larkin is proving to be a potential franchise guy for the Detroit Red Wings. Jack Eichel was the second overall pick in last draft, behind Connor McDavid. Noah Hanifin had an okay season. Colton Parayko played very well for St. Louis and is still playing today, as his team isn't eliminated from the playoffs yet. We also had guys like Ben Hutton, who made a very impressive debut for the Vancouver Canucks, 75 games played, did not expect to make the team, no one expected him to make the team. Topping things off with guys like Reinhart, Ehlers, Fabry, and Bennett, it was a very nice year for rookies, and I don't think there's anyone who's surprised about the nomination for the Calder Best Rookie in the League being Panarin, McDavid, and Gostisbehere. Let's start things out with Artemi Panarin, 77 points in 80 games, dubbed the right-handed Patrick Kane. No one would shut up about Artemi Panarin, Artem Anisimov, and Patrick Kane on that one line. Just absolute fire. Patrick Kane getting 4 points this season, getting the Art Ross Trophy. Panarin establishing himself as a very dominant top 6 forward after just coming off the KHL into the NHL, signing an entry-level deal, and really the only con to Panarin winning the Calder Trophy is the argument that a lot of people have been proposing. He's 24 and he's already played in the KHL for quite some time. The difference between Artemi Panarin and McDavid, aside from points-wise, because McDavid was a point-per-game player, he did miss half of the season with a really bad collarbone injury, and he did come back, finishing 4th in rookie scoring. McDavid is 19, and some could make the argument that the age really does factor into it, because Artemi Panarin, he's been playing professional hockey since McDavid was like 12. So the experience really does go to Panarin because he played in the KHL for all this time, but unless the NHL sees the KHL as some minor development league, they're not going to give the Calder to Panarin, in my opinion. McDavid is who I think is going to win this award. I want Gostisbehere to win, but I think it's going to be McDavid because you gotta give it to McDavid. He missed half the season. He was over a point-per-game player playing with the Edmonton Oilers. I think that the team really does play into it. If McDavid played with Chicago, he would have gotten more points for sure, but he played with the Oilers, got 48 points in 45 games with the Oilers, and I think that the talent that McDavid has shown us, especially in that game coming back from the injury, the first game against Columbus, splitting the D, then going backhand, forehand, backhand, forehand on the goalie was just incredible. The skill that McDavid possesses is fantastic, and I think it's enough to leapfrog him over Panarin in this Calder race. I know Panarin did say, I'll be upset if I don't win the Calder, but I think that the factors really do play in. 24 years old versus 18, I think I gotta give it to the 18-year-old. I saw an argument on Reddit talking about how if Ekblad wasn't 18, he wouldn't have won the Calder last year, and that's actually something that brings up a good point in my mind. It's something I agree with. The age does play into it. Connor McDavid is playing his first year in the NHL, and Panarin is playing his 5th or 4th year of professional hockey. So the experience really does go to Panarin. He's played with Kovalchuk. Kovalchuk is a guy who would have been a force if he was still in the NHL today, and Panarin got more points than Kovalchuk in his last KHL year. Now, I've talked about Panarin and McDavid quite a bit, but I haven't mentioned Shayne Gostisbehere, the guy who started out the season with the, whoever it is, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, whatever the AHL team for the Flyers is, and Gostisbehere is probably my favorite defenseman in the league, because he ended up the season with 46 points in 64 games played, 17 goals as a rookie defenseman for the Flyers. He broke the record for longest point streak by a rookie defenseman, and I'm not even surprised. Gostisbehere shows incredible flexibility on and off the ice, his poise is fantastic, and his offensive abilities are just fine. The way he's able to move himself around the ice is exquisite, and I just love watching him play because he's a guy that you notice. Gostisbehere, I want him to win the Calder, but I think it's going to McDavid for obvious reasons. But Gostisbehere really could win this award, and if he does, I would be so happy. 46 points in 64 games as a rookie defenseman is just incredible, and the way he plays is just great. He was named the best defenseman of the Flyers this year for a reason, and it's actually kind of a Cinderella story, might you, that he made the team in the first place. Like, Streit getting injured, and because of the Flyers' cap problems, they said, we need to call up a guy from Lehigh Valley right now. Let's call up this guy, 53, Shayne Gostisbehere. Okay, let's call him up. He's up, he's playing, he's fantastic, and he stays with the team for the rest of the season. Breaks the rookie defenseman point streak record, and he just has a fantastic rookie season. Shayne Gostisbehere, everybody. My wish to win the Calder Trophy, although I do think it's going to go to McDavid. So that's the Calder of this year, but really, when we're talking about the Calder, things will get exciting next year, and I don't want to get into next year a bit too much, but we're going to have the three guys at the top of this year's draft. Matthews, Puljujarvi, Laine. Then we're also going to have maybe Mitch Marner, I don't know, but we're going to have William Nylander, maybe Pavel Zacha. We're going to have Matt Murray from Pittsburgh. He's been tearing it up. He's got Calder potential, definitely. And really, just a whole bunch of guys are coming into the league next year. Strome is one of them as well. He's a big force. Really, the Calder is one of the most exciting awards in hockey, and I'm proud to sit here and be able to talk to you guys about who I think is going to win the Calder, which I think it's going to be McDavid, but I want Gostisbehere, the underdog, to win it. Really, those few years of professional experience and that age for Panarin just kills it off for me, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. You're passing to download your like and not subscribe, and gaming, and bye.